I promised to get you guys a Giovanni fight with Shadow Entei, where he's got Kingler in the second spot and a Persian with Scratch. I basically got that for you, but we're gonna do it in two different ways, and you're about to see. So right here on screen, this is actually to address something. I made a video about what to do when Persian has Scratch. You know, a lot of people were asking me, and they were. Sometimes somebody comments saying, "What's so hard about Persian?" Don't be like this, man. May not be hard for you or I, but I got my finger on the pulse of the community. They were asking me why were they losing to the Persian so much. A lot of people were asking me that. That's why I even made that video in the first place. Okay, but what you're seeing on screen is actually a comparison. You know, you can make a case and disagree with something I say. You don't need to be toxic. There's somebody that's talking about how Tyranitar is the only option. There's no choice. So alright, I'm putting it to the test, dude. Look at this. We got a fully powered Tyranitar all the way on the left. That's screen 1. They all got numbers on the bottom. That one's gonna have Bite Crunch. This dude was even saying that the energy gets generated really fast. Those who know actually know that Bite Crunch, it does not generate the energy very fast. It takes a lot of time to get that crunch out. Whereas when you see screen 3 and 4 with the recommendation that I thought was pretty amazing, which it is, Giratina altered form. 4 is the cream of the crop right there. The Giratina altered form right there has full dragon moveset. And look at the CP amounts. Screen 2 is a Tyranitar with Smackdown and Crunch, just to show the other option. And screen 3 is to even show you that a Giratina, even with a full ghost moveset like Shadow Sneak right there, is still performing well, although just know that the Persian is going to resist those ghost moves. But it even did better than the Tyranitar in screen 2. It did not do better than the Tyranitar in screen 1, but keep in mind, these Tyranitars, the screen 1 is fully powered up. 93% fully powered Bite Crunch. Screen 2 almost all the way powered up, 89%. Smackdown, Crunch. These Giratinas basically 1,000 CP difference, sometimes more in the case of screen 1's Tyranitar. Look at that. So screen 4, full dragon moveset Giratina, survived past the Persian, whereas both of those Tyranitars fell. And again, this is just against Scratch Persian. We are not talking about Feint Attack. I want to make that very clear, because I think some people were watching that Persian video I did previously and commenting before they knew what we were talking about. It was not to address Feint Attack. So dude, I mean, it's like all I'm trying to do is help people. So here's video proof. What's interesting is they were probably getting that stuff from PokeBattler.com. Actually, pretty reputable website, honestly. And it does. It lists Tyranitar. It's putting it as the top counter against a Persian with Scratch. And what I think is going on here is it's just talking about the damage that you're going to deal. That certainly can be true. I mean, you imagine a Rhyperior or Tyranitar like this. The point is that you might deal more damage, but if you can't last through the fight, you're already going to be going on to your second Pokemon, which might take damage, and that doesn't set you up better than, say, a Giratina Altered with Dragon Breath that goes through the Persian and still has life left on the other Pokemon. I mean, imagine if these Giratina, both of them that I was using right here, were powered up all the way. And I didn't, for that exact purpose, to show you that even Giratina's at a lesser CP value, at least in the case of screen 4 back there, it did better than any of those Tyranitar combinations. And one of the main things about Giratina Altered form here is that if we are not doing more damage based on DPS, what we're doing is we're shutting the Persian down. You guys know, and this is something else that I saw in the comments, but people familiar with me especially know, I always mention the 2-second, really 3-second stagnation period. So whenever you or they use a charge move, or whenever somebody switches out, whether it's via feinting or manually, the Team Go Rocket side, their Pokemon are going to stand still. It's for 4 turns and they attack on the 5th. Usually that actually goes to about 3 seconds. So Giratina, it makes that Persian stop constantly because you're getting the energy much quicker than Bite Crunch Tyranitar. I'm not dissing it. You can use Tyranitar, it's gonna do good. But when you say there's no other option, I'm telling you, man, there's always another option. So I'm sorry to everybody else that's in my community. You guys are always nice and awesome. Now that that's out of the way, let's show you actually 2 more parties, mostly not repeating anything that was used in the first Shadow Entei video that we have on this channel. 2 other parties that are gonna work. So what ended up happening is going up against President D-Bag here. I actually had 2 teams, and because one of them, it is another completely viable option, I actually jumped out of the fight on purpose when I knew I had won. And so that's going to be your screen on the left. Your screen on the right goes all the way through. Anyway, we got Hariyama in the first spot, and we got Machamp in the first spot. You wouldn't do this necessarily if you were going up against a Scratch Persian, and that's what I wanted to do. I wanted to give you guys Scratch Persian with the Kingler moveset all in one, but I could not find. I took so long. I took several days to find a Giovanni that would do that. All the time, it would either have Persian with Feint Attack or the Persian with Scratch, he would then send out a Steelix. You know, I could not get them together, so that's why I've kind of sectioned this video off into 2 different parts. Anyway, the reason that we're actually using our Rock Slide on Machamp instead of, say, the Dynamic Punch charge move is just because now he's got both of his shields. They were taken out, we baited those shields, so now we're going to go with our Dynamic Punch. That obviously would be a stronger attack, say, against the Persian or whatever, but Rock Slide, you can actually generate the energy for that faster just by 1 turn. So it is, again, literally by 1 turn, but that makes a difference. So you actually notice that in both of these cases, you know, even with the Hariyama, but also with the Machamp, we had actually the Kingler down to almost the same amount of HP, and the Machamp fell. I actually switched out on purpose to show the Jolteon off on the left side. Now Zapdos gonna have better attack than Jolteon. Jolteon simply just to show you guys other options, and so Zapdos gonna have a Thunderbolt for the charge attack, which is good because that's a 2-bar charge move. You know, a lot of the times, you know, you might have Jolteon with Thunder or something like that, and that's just 1 bar. So Swampert gonna go on our left side to finish us off there at the anchor spot now that Giovanni sent in Entei. And so for the other side, we actually still have our Zapdos in play, even doing another charge move as he's sending in the Shadow Entei. Now again, just a reminder, wait. Once he sends out that Entei, it is gonna wait for about 3 seconds before it's gonna hit you with a move. And so in that respect, don't just completely use your charge move even though you already have it when he throws it out. You know, wait, make sure that you count. And it has to be from the animation of him throwing the Pokeball. It's not 2 seconds after the Entei pops out of the Pokeball. So we do want to be specific about that. Now the Swampert, I basically had him because I had another charge move. It was actually a little bit closer than I thought it was going to be. The Swampert should have, you know, Mud Shot to get off the energy even quicker, but Water Gun obviously going to be super effective too. It's just that I was kind of prioritizing the energy rather than the super effective damage on the fast attack. And with Hydro Cannon, you can still get that fired off pretty quickly, but a Swampert with Muddy Water, that's a 3-bar charge move, whereas Hydro Cannon is going to be 2 bars. Hydro Cannon going to do more, Muddy Water going to do less, but you can get Muddy Water fired off more and more, obviously putting a stop to that Entei. So that's kind of up to you, you know, and what your preference is in doing that. And a lot of these Pokemon, you know, I kind of nerfed myself even, except for maybe the Kyogre and the Machamp. You know, those were ones that were pretty powered up, the Machamp all the way. But everything else, I tried to nerf myself and say like, well, I should go with something a little bit weaker, just show people that this is possible with other parties. So we have 2 here, and we also did the Shadow Entei video where we went up against Rhyperior. That's going to be on an end screen coming up pretty soon that you can click on screen. And so I'll catch you guys on the next vid, and thanks for viewing.